Being an artist is not my day job. It might be a good hobby for you too. Today I'm going to be by this stream and I'm going to sketch with Inktense pencils and a ballpoint pen in my sketchbook. Let's see what we learn together. Today I'm going to experiment in a sketchbook. I'm not looking to make a finished painting. I just want to get outdoors and practice. With these Inktense pencils, I want to put down the lighter values and the major shapes and fill in the darker values a bit later. I like the contrast of the snow and the stream. I'm using this tangerine color in that water in part to show you a unique way of blending. Looking at the stream, I see there are some greens and browns and yellows in it. When I add those colors over the dried first layer, the orange doesn't reactivate, so it kind of blends optically. I also leave the orange completely alone in other areas just to create some visual interest. To further bump up the contrast, I added some dusky purple to accentuate the shadows of the rocks and edges of the stream, and even that tree on the right. I'll add green over that later. The shadows on the snow look blue, and I'm going to wet the paper with this brush for my next Inktense tip. When the paper is damp, the pencil lays down in a really vibrant pigment once it hits the wet paper. That works great for me, as I try to increase the contrast of the shadows of those trees by using a bit of green. I'm not trying to copy the scene exactly. I'm just trying to get an impression of it and have a little fun ad-libbing. The overall composition is looking good to me, and now my attention is on this bird. It's called an American dipper, maybe because it dips its head under the water, or because it dips up and down on the rocks. I don't know. Either way, I got some cool video of it, and I sketched it out once I got home, with the intent of painting it too. More on that in a bit. Up to this point, I've been using these Inktense pencils. Now that I'm home, I want to use some of these Inktense blocks. I'm most interested in using the white block, since I misplaced the white pencil I had. I read online how the Inktense white could be quite opaque, but I hadn't really tried it myself. At first I just applied the white dry, and that didn't seem to work like I hoped. But what happens if you wet it? Well, it didn't appear to work either until I started to dry, and I could see it became more opaque. Wanting to experiment some more, I decided to apply the pigment directly to my wet brush, and then to the paper. This laid it on really thick, and I was able to create this entire snowbank over a previously colored area. I was really surprised at how well it worked. While I had that pen out sketching the bird I showed you earlier, I decided to relive the experience of painting in the mountains and decided to sketch myself into the scene to solidify the memory. Again, I'm not too worried about a finished work of art. I'm just practicing and having fun. The pen has a bit more control, so I'm using it to finish off some of the details in the trees too. That's the cool thing about sketchbooks. I can play around with different techniques just to see what happens. To be honest, I had no idea that white was so opaque until I tried it. I used the white to add some snow over the trees too then, which is cool because I hated how green it became. The sticks give a real painterly feel. I like that. That would be impossible with normal watercolor pencils. So back to that bird sketch. I'll speed things up so you can see how it progressed and how it turned out. I pretty much used the same techniques as that landscape sketch, but sketching at home allowed me to be a bit more precise. Plus, birds are hard to sketch live. My favorite part was how I could add a few highlights and fix a few mistakes with that opaque white. By the way, this sketchbook is the Strathmore Visual Journal. I have a link for stuff I used in this video in the description below. I hope you enjoyed watching these experiments, and I hope you do some of your own too. For more Inktense experiments, check out this playlist, or check out some of my other videos from other fun mediums. Thanks for exploring art with me.